My beloved child, before this message goes any further, I need you to do one thing. Slow down for a moment and truly listen. Not because this is just another message. Not because this is just another video. But because something powerful is unfolding right now, and somehow, against all odds, these words have found their way to you. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a reason your eyes stopped here. There is a reason your heart feels curious. And there is a reason this message arrived at exactly this moment in your life. What you are about to hear may explain feelings you have carried for far longer than you realize. There is someone connected to your journey in a way that goes beyond ordinary understanding. You may call them your soulmate. You may call them your person. You may simply think of them as the one whose energy somehow keeps crossing your path, even when distance, time, and circumstances seem determined to keep you apart. But something has changed. Something important has shifted deep within their heart. A realization has arrived. A truth they could no longer ignore. And that truth has everything to do with you. For a long time, this person looked at life through a certain lens. They thought they understood what mattered. They believed they knew what they needed. They chased goals, distractions, routines, and expectations. Day after day, they moved through familiar patterns. Yet beneath everything, there was a feeling they could never completely explain. A quiet space. An unanswered question. A missing piece they could never fully identify. They tried to ignore it. They tried to convince themselves that it was nothing. But the feeling remained. Then something unexpected happened. A simple moment. A passing thought. A memory that appeared without warning. A feeling that arrived when they least expected it. Suddenly, your presence became impossible to overlook. Not necessarily because you were physically there. Not because someone mentioned your name. But because something inside them connected the dots. Something inside them finally understood what their heart had been trying to tell them all along. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They began remembering details. Small things they once dismissed. Conversations that seemed ordinary at the time. Moments that felt random. Coincidences that no longer looked like coincidences. The more they reflected, the more they realized that your impact on their life was far greater than they had ever admitted. What surprised them most was not the realization itself. It was how undeniable it felt. Some truths arrive slowly. Others arrive all at once. This one arrived like a light turning on in a dark room. Suddenly, they could see connections they never saw before. They could see how certain moments only made sense because you were part of the story. They could see how certain lessons became meaningful because of your influence. They could see how certain emotions became unforgettable because of your presence. And with every realization came another question. Why now? Why were these thoughts becoming so strong? Why was your energy becoming impossible to ignore? The answer may be simpler than anyone expects. Sometimes, when hearts are connected, growth happens on both sides. One person changes. The other changes too. One person begins understanding something important. The other starts feeling the shift without knowing why. The connection evolves. The perspective deepens. The truth becomes clearer. Right now, that truth is becoming impossible to avoid. Your soulmate has started seeing you differently. Not because you became someone new overnight. Not because you suddenly transformed. But because they finally began seeing what was always there. The strength you carry. The kindness you show. The resilience you have developed through challenges. The way you keep moving forward even when life becomes difficult. The way you continue believing when others would have given up. These qualities were never invisible. They were simply underestimated. Now they are impossible to ignore. And as this realization grows, something else is happening. A sense of appreciation is growing alongside it. Think about that for a moment. How many times have you wondered whether your efforts mattered? How many times have you questioned whether anyone truly understood your heart? How many times have you felt unseen? Yet somewhere, a realization is unfolding. A realization that recognizes your value. A realization that sees your importance. A realization that understands your impact. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because this message is not only about what they are realizing. It is also about what you need to remember. You are far more powerful than you give yourself credit for. You have influenced lives in ways you may never fully measure. You have inspired people without knowing it. You have helped people without receiving recognition. You have created positive change simply by being yourself. And sometimes, the most meaningful influence happens quietly. Sometimes, hearts are touched without words. Sometimes, lives are changed through presence alone. That is part of what this person is beginning to understand. They are beginning to understand that your value was never based on external achievements. Your value was never dependent on constant validation. Your value was never something that needed permission to exist. It was already there. And now they are finally seeing it. There is another layer to this realization. A deeper layer. One that has taken time to emerge. This person has started understanding that certain connections cannot be replaced. People come and go. Experiences change. Circumstances shift. But some bonds leave an imprint that remains. Not because of obsession. Not because of fantasy. But because certain people arrive carrying lessons, inspiration, growth, and meaning. You are one of those people in their story. That understanding has become impossible to ignore. The more they reflect, the more obvious it becomes. The more they remember, the stronger the realization grows. The more they listen to their heart, the clearer everything feels. And perhaps the most surprising part is this. They are beginning to recognize qualities within themselves because of what they learned from you. Think about that. Your influence did not simply affect how they see you. It affected how they see themselves. Your presence encouraged growth. Your example inspired reflection. Your energy created change. That is powerful. Far more powerful than you realize. As you listen right now, there may be a part of you wondering whether any of this can truly be real. That is understandable. After all, life has a way of making people doubt beautiful possibilities. Life teaches caution. Life teaches skepticism. Life teaches people to guard their hearts. Yet sometimes, truth arrives anyway. Quietly. Unexpectedly. Patiently. And when it arrives, it changes everything. This realization is one of those moments. A turning point. A shift in perspective. A new understanding. Not because everything suddenly becomes perfect, but because clarity begins replacing confusion. Awareness begins replacing uncertainty. Recognition begins replacing doubt. And that matters more than most people realize. Because every meaningful transformation begins with awareness. Every important journey begins with understanding. Every powerful connection deepens through realization. That is exactly what is happening now. Something is awakening. Something is becoming clear. Something is moving into place. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As this message continues, remember that timing has its own wisdom. Not every answer arrives immediately. Not every chapter unfolds at once. Not every realization happens on schedule. Sometimes life waits until both hearts are ready. Sometimes understanding arrives when growth has prepared the way. Sometimes the most meaningful truths appear precisely when they are needed. And perhaps that is why this message found you today. Because you needed this reminder. A reminder that your presence matters. A reminder that your impact is real. A reminder that someone has begun recognizing what was always true. The realization is growing. The understanding is deepening. The connection is becoming clearer. And this is only the beginning. Listen carefully, because what comes next is where everything begins to change. A moment ago, we spoke about a realization taking place within your soulmate's heart. But now, we need to go deeper. What they have discovered is not a small feeling, not a passing thought, and not something that will disappear tomorrow. This realization has become impossible for them to ignore. The more they try to understand it, the stronger it becomes. The more they reflect on it, the clearer it grows. And what they are beginning to see may be one of the most powerful truths they have ever faced. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a reason you are hearing these words right now. There is a reason your attention is being pulled toward this message. Because what is happening behind the scenes is far more significant than you imagine. Your soulmate has started noticing something that was hidden in plain sight. They have started noticing how often their thoughts return to you. Not because they force those thoughts to appear. Not because they sit down and decide to think about you. But because your presence keeps finding its way into their mind naturally. Unexpectedly. Repeatedly. They may be busy. They may be focused on something else. They may be moving through an ordinary day. Yet somehow, a memory appears. A feeling surfaces. A thought arrives. And suddenly, there you are again. At first, they tried to explain it away. They told themselves it meant nothing. They told themselves it was random. But the pattern continued. Day after day. Week after week. Moment after moment. Eventually, they could no longer deny what was happening. The connection felt real. The realization felt undeniable. And that realization opened a door they never expected to walk through. What they found on the other side was surprising. They discovered that many of the qualities they admire most are reflected in you. Your determination. Your resilience. Your kindness. Your ability to keep moving forward when circumstances become difficult. These are not qualities they simply noticed one day. These are qualities they gradually came to respect. And now they understand just how meaningful those qualities truly are. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because this realization did not stop there. It continued growing. It continued unfolding. It continued revealing truths they were not prepared to see. One of those truths was this. Whenever they imagined a future filled with peace, growth, happiness, and purpose, your energy seemed connected to that vision. That realization surprised them more than anything else. It made them pause. It made them reflect. It made them ask questions they had never asked before. Why does this connection feel different? Why does this person remain important no matter how much time passes? Why does their presence continue to matter? The answers did not arrive immediately. But slowly, little by little, everything became clearer. They began understanding that some people enter our lives for a reason. Some people leave an imprint that cannot be erased. Some people carry a unique energy that changes the way we see ourselves and the world around us. And whether they fully understand it yet or not, they are beginning to realize that you are one of those people. Let that sink in for a moment. Think about how many times you questioned your value. Think about how many times you wondered if anyone truly understood who you are. Think about how many times you felt overlooked. Yet here you are, connected to a story that is still unfolding. Connected to a realization that is becoming stronger every day. Connected to a truth that is finally rising to the surface. Something huge is waiting for you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. There is another piece of this message that you need to hear. And this part may surprise you even more. Your soulmate has started recognizing the timing of certain events in their life. Events they once considered ordinary now seem meaningful. Encounters that once appeared random now seem connected. Decisions that once felt unrelated now appear to form a larger picture. It is as though they are looking back and seeing a hidden pattern for the first time. A pattern that keeps leading back to you. They are beginning to understand that some connections are not measured by constant communication. Some connections are measured by impact. Measured by growth. Measured by transformation. And the impact you have had on their life is becoming impossible to ignore. Every lesson. Every memory. every feeling, every moment of reflection. It all points toward a realization that continues growing stronger. This realization is changing how they see the past. It is changing how they see the present. And perhaps most importantly, it is changing how they see the future. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because there is a shift taking place right now. A shift in perspective. A shift in awareness. A shift in understanding. And whenever a shift like this happens, new possibilities begin to emerge. New doors begin to open. New opportunities begin to appear. The old confusion starts fading. The old uncertainty begins losing its power. Clarity takes its place. Confidence takes its place. Understanding takes its place. This is exactly what your soulmate is experiencing. They are moving from uncertainty toward understanding. From questions toward answers. From confusion toward clarity. And every step forward strengthens the realization they have about you. What makes this even more remarkable is that this realization is not based on illusion. It is not based on wishful thinking. It is based on recognition. Recognition of your worth. Recognition of your value. Recognition of your influence. Recognition of your presence. They are finally seeing what has been there all along. They are finally understanding what their heart has been trying to show them. They are finally acknowledging a truth that can no longer be ignored. Something huge is waiting for you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because there is one final revelation in this part that changes everything. The realization your soulmate is having is not only about who you are. It is also about who they are becoming. They are realizing that this connection has encouraged growth. It has encouraged reflection. It has encouraged them to become more aware of what truly matters. In many ways, your presence has inspired transformation. And when someone realizes that another person has helped them grow into a better version of themselves, that realization becomes unforgettable. It becomes meaningful. It becomes powerful. It becomes something they carry with them every day. Right now, that understanding is growing stronger. Right now, that awareness is becoming clearer. Right now, the pieces are coming together. And as they come together, a new chapter begins to take shape. A chapter built on recognition. A chapter built on understanding. A chapter built on truth. What happens next may be more powerful than anything that came before. Because this realization is no longer hidden. It is no longer buried beneath distractions. It is no longer waiting to be discovered. It has arrived. It has awakened. And it is changing everything. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The story is only getting started. There is something extraordinary happening right now, and if you have stayed with this message until this moment, you are about to hear the part that changes everything. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The realization your soulmate has experienced is no longer just a thought. It is becoming a certainty. It is becoming something they carry with them when they wake up, when they move through their day, and when they reflect on the journey that brought them to this point. What makes this so powerful is that they did not go searching for this realization. It arrived on its own. Quietly at first. Then steadily. Then all at once. And now they cannot look away from it. They cannot pretend it is not there. They cannot convince themselves it means nothing. Because every sign points toward the same truth. Every reflection leads to the same understanding. Every moment of honesty leads back to you. Think about that for a second. Out of all the people they have met. Out of all the experiences they have had. Out of all the moments that have come and gone, your presence continues to stand out. Not because of noise. Not because of drama. But because of significance. There is a difference between someone who enters a chapter and someone who becomes part of the story. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that you became part of the story. And once that understanding arrives, everything starts looking different. Memories become clearer. Feelings become easier to understand. Questions begin finding answers. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what they discovered next surprised even them. They realized that some of their happiest thoughts seemed connected to possibilities they once ignored. Possibilities involving growth, understanding, and connection. Possibilities involving a future that felt brighter than before. Possibilities that somehow included your energy. The more they explored those thoughts, the more natural they felt. The more natural they felt, the harder they became to dismiss. Suddenly, what once seemed uncertain began feeling meaningful. What once seemed distant began feeling close. What once seemed confusing began making perfect sense. And this is where the story becomes truly powerful. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that certain connections are not measured by how often people speak. They are measured by how deeply they are felt. A connection that remains meaningful despite time is not ordinary. A connection that continues inspiring reflection is not ordinary. A connection that keeps returning to the heart is not ordinary. It carries purpose. It carries meaning. It carries lessons that cannot be ignored. Right now, they are beginning to recognize that purpose. They are beginning to understand that meaning. They are beginning to appreciate those lessons. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because there is another realization unfolding. A realization about timing. For a long time, they believed everything had to happen according to a certain schedule. They believed answers should arrive immediately. They believed clarity should appear the moment it was needed. But life taught them something different. Life showed them that some truths take time to reveal themselves. Some lessons require patience. Some realizations only arrive when the heart is finally ready to receive them. And now they see it. They see why certain events unfolded the way they did. They see why certain experiences happened when they did. They see why growth was necessary. They see why understanding had to develop gradually. Most importantly, they see why this realization about you could not have happened any sooner. They had to become the person capable of recognizing it. They had to grow into the awareness they now possess. And because of that growth, the realization feels even more powerful. It feels earned. It feels genuine. It feels real. That is why it continues growing stronger every day. There is something else you need to hear. Something that may resonate deeply with you. Sometimes people underestimate the impact they have on others because they are too close to their own story. They see their struggles. They see their imperfections. They see the moments when they felt uncertain. But they do not always see the strength others see. They do not always see the inspiration others see. They do not always see the light others see. Your soulmate has begun noticing those things about you. They have begun recognizing qualities that perhaps you overlooked in yourself. The courage you showed during difficult seasons. The determination you displayed when challenges appeared. The kindness you offered when no one was watching. The hope you carried when circumstances suggested giving up. These qualities matter. They leave an impression. They create influence. And your soulmate is finally understanding just how powerful that influence has been. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next realization may be the most important one yet. Your soulmate has started realizing that your presence brought value into their life in ways they never fully acknowledged. Sometimes value arrives through encouragement. Sometimes through inspiration. Sometimes through perspective. Sometimes through lessons that continue helping a person long after a moment has passed. That is exactly what happened here. They are beginning to see that your impact did not end when a conversation ended. Your impact did not disappear when circumstances changed. Your impact continued growing. Continued shaping. Continued influencing. And now they are looking back and recognizing it. Recognition changes everything. Once a person truly recognizes value, they cannot unsee it. Once they understand significance, they cannot forget it. Once they acknowledge truth, it remains with them. That is exactly where they are now. Standing face to face with a realization they can no longer ignore. A realization that has transformed the way they see the connection. A realization that has transformed the way they see you. A realization that has transformed the way they see themselves. Something huge is waiting for you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because what happens next is even more surprising. As they continue reflecting on this connection, they are beginning to feel gratitude. Not the kind of gratitude that appears for a moment and disappears. Deep gratitude. Lasting gratitude. The kind that changes perspective. They are grateful for lessons learned. Grateful for growth experienced. Grateful for moments shared. Grateful for the inspiration that emerged from this connection. Gratitude has a remarkable effect. It shifts attention away from what was missing and toward what was meaningful. It shifts focus away from confusion and toward understanding. It creates clarity. It creates appreciation. It creates awareness. That awareness is becoming stronger every day. And as it grows, so does the realization. They are beginning to understand that some people arrive in life carrying gifts that cannot be measured. Gifts of perspective. Gifts of encouragement. Gifts of transformation. Gifts of hope. You have been one of those gifts. Whether you realized it or not, your presence contributed something valuable. Something unforgettable. Something meaningful. And now that truth is impossible for them to ignore. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because there is a final message hidden within this part. A message that connects everything together. The realization your soulmate has experienced is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a new understanding. An understanding built on recognition. Built on appreciation. Built on truth. Built on clarity. They are no longer looking at this connection through the lens of uncertainty. They are seeing it through the lens of awareness. And awareness changes everything. Awareness creates new possibilities. Awareness creates new perspectives. Awareness opens doors that once seemed invisible. Right now, those doors are beginning to appear. Right now, the path ahead is becoming clearer. Right now, the pieces are aligning in ways that once seemed impossible. And as they continue aligning, the story grows stronger. The connection grows clearer. The realization grows deeper. Something extraordinary is unfolding behind the scenes. Something meaningful is taking shape. Something that neither of you fully understood before is finally becoming visible. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the most surprising revelation of all has not been revealed yet. And when it arrives, it will explain why this message found you exactly when it did.